All right, what's going on, guys? It is the third video now, and in this one, you're gonna watch me finish up painting and coating all those parts from underneath the red car, painting underneath the red car, and then reinstalling all of these parts that I'm actually doing right now. And then hopefully I'm going to be putting it on the ground and doing the wiring, or at least starting the wiring. It's going to be the slowest process is going to be the wiring, but it's going to be the most important process because that was my whole issue last summer when I was trying to do this was I did not have my wiring correct, and because I was trying to do it a kind of sketchier way. But I've got it all what I think is to be the right way figured out now, and I'm gonna try my hardest to get this done. But I'm also starting work now, so I'm getting a later start in the day, and I have less hours in the day to work on this stuff. As much as I wish that I could work on all these cars all night, but I can't. So stay tuned. Watch me get at all this stuff. You're gonna, yeah, go, I guess. Okay, we got the second coat done on everything. We got it a little bit, couple spots missed on the knuckle on this guy. Second coat on the top of that guy. The letter links were already done. The brackets all needed a top coat on their second top coat, and axles are already done. Trailing arms I hit again, and these two brackets I hit on the other side again. I hit the top of the diff again, and this thing sucks to try to paint. I hate it, but I hit this cradle again on the top. And now I'm going to wait for this to dry a little bit more, just up until I can pick it up, and then I'm going to move it all back into the garage, and then the drop cloths and the cardboard are going to go underneath the red car, where I will then start doing all the rust that's underneath up top. Okay, so I was actually kind of even scared to touch this camera right now. Don't ask me why I'm not wearing gloves. I couldn't tell you. I just kind of ran out and didn't feel like dealing with it. But most of it's covered. Oh, the majority of the good parts anyways. Looks pretty good, let me tell you. Probably later on down the road, I'll do the whole rest of the car and make sure there's no rust at all, because I really like the idea of saving this body, even though I understand that I could just get a new shell for it. But looks really good, and there's a reason why I was waiting so long to do this. Underneath, this really watery, and then it dries like this, but it was really watery out of the can, and it's just all over me right now. It's actually in my hair too, which is really annoying. Looks so good though. I got one coat of the bed liner spray on the parts out here. I'll just show you it. There's some stuff from the trees on them, but these two plates got the bed liner spray on this top. Axles are done. Those also need to be flipped like those guys. This needs to be flipped. The diff needs to be flipped. Those need to be flipped. This stuff is actually drying really quick, and it's really nice because I can just, I sprayed one side and by the time I went to the other end of the mat, which is like the diff side, those plates were already dry and I could just barely pick them up nicely, flip them over, or move them around. That's why I ended up having to, or being able to get the T-bar on the mat as well. So I'm going to give it like another couple minutes, and then I'm going to take the T-bar and flip it as well and just finish it all up with the bed liner. I don't think I'm going to get any of it with color today, but tomorrow I will probably get a little bit of color on a couple parts, so that you guys can check that out tomorrow. Next day here, and I got all the lateral links and the trailing arms painted the color that I wanted them to be. I'm not going to show you guys those until it's all put into the car, but you'll still watch like a time lapse or whatever of me. You'll still watch me put all the parts together underneath the car, but I'll just skip past when I install the lateral links and the trailing arms and see what it looks like at the end. I'm a little skeptical. I don't know how I exactly feel about it, but it seemed better in theory, but in practice it looks a little interesting, but we'll see. But actually right now what I can show you guys is I started doing a little bit of wiring over here. So this is the fuel pump wiring that sits on top of the gas tank for the Outback, and this plug right here, this little grommet, so this goes through the floor where the back seat is, and that grommet stays in there, and then the rest of the harness attaches to this one, and then this guy goes to the float, and then it comes over here and goes to the actual fuel pump. But what I did do, and I'm gonna get, okay, this looks rather rough, but I just wanted to be on the safer side, I guess, just because this is outside the car on top of the gas tank. But so this is the Impreza plug. I already figured out the little wiring diagram for both of them, and basically I know that like if this is one pin 1, 2, 3, and then on the bottom 4, 5, 6. I know that 1 went to 3, 2 went to 6, and like so on and so on. So I repinned it technically, but just merging the plug really though. I didn't really repin it. Repinning would be going in there. So I merged this plug onto the Outback harness, and right where I had my joint, even though I just wrapped it with electrical tape, I still wanted to be on the safer side, and I put a liquid electrical tape around the outside of it, kind of make it a little more waterproof. And then I put somewhere in the end, and then at the end. And then this is all just literally what you see from here over that looks a lot like darker compared to the nasty looking old stuff. This is what I just did, and it looks, honestly, it doesn't look amazing. And you could ask me how much I care, but honestly, I kind of care a little bit because I'm a little OCD about this stuff. But it's fine. No one's going to see it. I'm going to try not to think about it and worry about it. But next is actually getting out of the rust dissolve solution over here. I'm going to get all this stuff out of this bucket now, finally. And we can actually take a little look at it all. But it looks rather interesting. It's like a big science experiment over here. This is wild, though. All that hardware in there looks so different. So basically, it got most of the rust. Obviously, where it was like really bad, it didn't even eat through all of that. But where it got down to bare metal, and then where it didn't get down to bare metal, it just kept it as, it like turned dark, like black almost. It's very weird. I'm still gonna like rough them up, clean them up, and then just make sure I can get as much of that out as I can. Okay guys, that is probably going to be the end of this video, and if you just stay tuned, you can watch me actually put all this back together, get it underneath the car, get the car lowered, and then after that, it's actually dealing with the wiring finally. I didn't mean to do all this actually, believe it or not. It's just that once I dropped the gas tank to get to that wiring, I realized how terrible all these parts really were. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were not that bad, but I can't help myself to get it pretty nice looking, or you know, make it look pretty half decent at least. So it's all painted, it's all going back together tomorrow right away in the morning. But you guys have to stay tuned for that one, and after that you guys can watch me hopefully try to get this thing started for the first time in the next couple days here. So stay tuned.